The Washington football team is going to be called the Washington. Hey folks, it's your favorite fan here, Graybeard Greg. So we're back to this again because, hey, it's the off season and we need to talk about something before we can start talking about the draft or free agency. So let's talk about what our favorite team name is going to be. I will tell you that this is something that I have been wanting to know, certainly ever since last offseason when the term Redskins got dropped and we adopted temporarily the football team. You know what though? Here's the thing. I'm not going to dive deeply into, what I think about the old name and of course what they're called right now. Of course, a lot of people has given the team, given the franchise their opinions and submitted their artwork and all this stuff. And the one that seemed to stick out, certainly, as far as being the favorite amongst maybe the younger fans and then myself, was Red Wolves, because that just seems kind of cool. You could picture hearing wolf howls in the stadium, and for some reason I'm hearing the theme song to the Wolfpack NWO back in the wrestling days when I used to watch WWE wrestling. So yeah, Red Wolves I think I like it because it sounds cool. Washington Red Wolves, Washington Redskins. So it's like the same cadence. It's got the word red in it. We've already heard from our team president, Jason Wright, that the team has no plans of changing the team colors. And I just want to say amen to that. I did not want the team to change from being the burgundy and gold. So that out of the way, it goes back to, are we going to name the team something with the term red in it? Do we have to have the word red in our next team name? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like Red Wolves, but I have seen a lot of fans totally hate on that name. A lot kind of saying that sounds like some sort of Pee Wee League name, or a name of a high school football team mascot, or we're trying to go for an aggressive team name, and that's something that Mr. Wright had said. And I'm glad, because there have been some very atrocious names being thrown out there that I'm like, oh, please no. One in particular was, hey, let's name them the Washington Pigskins. You can keep the skins part of it on there. A pigskin is a football. Pig kind of has connotations back to the Hogs. The Hogs of the offensive line of the 80s. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, you're going to say that Red Wolves sounds childish, but then Pigskins? No. Warriors, certainly, that was another one that I can go with. I think is probably the safest choice. It kind of sounds like it's going to be kind of a hard one to get, and it's one that actually Snyder had the rights to. So there you go. Snyder bungles it up again. He had the perfect replacement name and lost it. Washington Warriors. I think a lot of people could pretty much get behind Washington Warriors. There was some type of news story before, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he's been on Twitter as well, where I think he may have owned the name, the rights to the name. So, I mean, those two names, of course. Then you got Red Tails, but there was also talk about wanting the name to be something tied to that area. I never thought that picking a name for this team was going to be such a challenge and so difficult. I've kind of grown fond to our jerseys and our helmet. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know if you can see in the background, but I love the chief head. It's just, it symbolizes, to me, this symbolizes being a warrior. It's just, it's an iconic logo. It was created by a Native American artist, and you know, his family, his surviving family was so upset, so disappointed and upset to see this logo leave. And I was too. I mean, to this day, I really miss this logo. I love it so much. You know, I love the helmet that we wore this year, not having the stripes, and just having the numbers on the side. I really thought it was a clean, slick look, and I really grew to like it. You know, people talking about changing the colors and they need to be red, white, and blue, like, you know, there's no other teams in the league that has red, white, and blue. You know, it just needs to be a total divorce of everything from the past. And okay, I kind of get the argument, but at the same time, I think it's also just erasing the history of this team. We can change the name. At this point, you know, that's going to happen. That has happened. There's nothing that says we have to change the colors. We have to totally erase everything that went on in the past. I still want to be able to sit down and recognize my team on the field, even if the chief head is not on the logo anymore. You know, if it was going to be the spear or something like that, I would have loved that. Obviously, it's not going to, you know, we're not going to have Native American imagery. If I could sit down and come up with anything else, I can't think of anything else. Honestly, right now, I mean, I rooted for the Redskins for 40 some years. And this year I rooted for the football team, but I still call them Redskins because been rooting for them for 40 some years. I want us to come up with the perfect name that unites everybody, because we need us to be united in this country, and it's would love for us to at least be united with this team. And so to be able to come up with another iconic name and logo that just all of us just love, but still being able to hold on to the great, glorious past that we had in winning Super Bowl championships and NFL championships and all of that. I guess at the end of the day, there's, you know, people are going to hate it and people are going to love it. And there's going to be people who are going to be like, you know what, don't care, just go with no name, which I'm starting to lean more into that camp, because honestly, other than the NFL trying to force football team onto the name, I was just fine with just drop it all together and just call them Washington. Yes, you don't have to call them the football team. We already know they play football. Anyway, if you stayed this long, I'll probably owe you money. But if you don't mind, could you at least, you know, hit me a like on this video? If you didn't like the video and you still stayed this long, I definitely probably owe you money. Just hit the unlike. If you're enjoying this channel, please consider subscribing. If you've got some video ideas you would like for me to share, I would love to share with you. I've got a lot I think I have somewhere in this head. You got to think, 40 some years supporting this team, I have stories. So anyway, with that said, all of you take care and hail to the Washington football team.